Clark, I'm Group Chief Executive of Rhino Rugby.
And when you wake up in the morning, what is your overriding objective that day, or from a long-term, mid-term, short-term point of view, what are your objectives with Rhino?
Well, every day is incredibly different, so it's almost impossible to answer that. But in terms of Rhino, we are pursuing a two-pronged strategy. One is to maintain our position as the world's leading supplier of scrummaging machines, contact and training equipment for rugby, which is a very small niche area, which nevertheless underpins everything we do as a brand. But secondly, and most importantly, we're trying to grow Rhino as a brand within the sport of rugby, mostly, slightly outside of it, but mostly within rugby.
So, splitting those two areas, the first one, in terms of the equipment and the scrum machines, is your growth, and I'm assuming you're looking for growth. Can you measure it against the growth of rugby, or does rugby
I think it's a slightly odd one, because I think there's a certain amount of scrummaging machines anyone can sell, mostly because any decent company would make them to last a long time. And the UK, for example, is a mature market, but we're quite content to keep selling the same number each year. I think that's an achievement. I think growth comes in a number of different areas. We acquired our New Zealand rival recently, so I think that was one of the ways to defend our territory as the world's number one and achieve growth. And I would say within our more general product area, the breakdown has become a big focus of rugby, so we are selling a specialist breakdown range of products, so that's where growth comes from. It's not easy to achieve growth within that specific product area, to be frank, and I don't think you can say rugby is growing globally, therefore Rhino will sell more specialist training equipment. It doesn't quite work like that. To achieve steady year-on-year growth is quite an achievement for us. But if it underpins the brand, if it gives us our link with England, with Wales, with the Lions, with Japan, Hong Kong, the USA unions, then that we believe is very brand enhancing, which is almost as important.
And on that side of things, in terms of the scrum machines and equipment, do you have brand consistency, product consistency, communications consistency across the world, or is it different in different territories?
We're grappling with one dilemma at the moment insofar as our New Zealand brand is Power. It's very well known in New Zealand. They supply all the leading teams in New Zealand, if I can put it that way delicately, and it's well known, made in New Zealand, etc. And on the other hand, globally we're Rhino. So we're dual branding in New Zealand, but apart from that we strive very, very hard to have consistency of branding, even down to a particular specific Pantone of blue that all of our products, if possible, are feature. So we do try to be very consistent.
And with licensing, I'm assuming you're trying to find partners who are competent in other areas that can take the brand out into different markets.
Yeah, to be frank, we're still so small that we use the rather lazy strategy of waiting for people to beat the path to our door. But in general, it's more of a negative process. We would be open to anything that is broadly brand enhancing and not brand damaging within rugby or without. So I mean, to give you an example, there's clearly a big link between male grooming products and rugby at the moment. We've seen Dove Men's Care in particular be sponsor England and Wales, and the link between those areas is growing, and we were approached by a small to medium company that wanted to run the Rhino brand in male grooming products. Now, it's early days, will they succeed? I don't know, but it feels like a good fit, and it's not very high risk for us, so we're inclined to do that, and I think that's a good example, because on the face of it, it's a bit left field.
Do you find yourself, in the licensing terms, you're selling rugby as well as selling Rhino?
Absolutely. I mean, I think everything we do is underpinned by the fact that rugby is popular, or even cool at the moment. It's a very popular global brand within certain demographics. That underpins everything we do.
Are you doing anything special around the World Cup in 2015, or is it business as usual? You're just approaching it the same way?
We've got 2 contracts with Rugby World Cup 2015. We are supplying all of the training equipment for the teams. That's on an unbranded basis, and in addition to that, we have a license for a small number of contact products that can be Rugby World Cup branded. It's a modest license, but we have both of those, and I just think it's going to be a huge event. I find myself looking forward to it immensely myself, and I think it's going to capture the country, and it's going to be good for everyone involved in rugby. I think there will be a very good feel-good factor, and I think all rugby businesses, long-established rugby businesses that have a good niche will benefit in 2015 in the UK.
Just one last question, and it's about promotion and being seen at an elite level. How important is it for the brand to be seen at the elite end of the game in association with the top international teams?
Yeah, massively. When I took over the business 8 years ago, I inherited England and Wales, and we've added the Lions, which is very, very important to us, and some other countries such as the USA, Hong Kong, Japan. It's absolutely critical. I mean, we are a high-end brand. Our equipment isn't the cheapest, it never will be. It's very important for the brand underpinning exercise that we operate absolutely at the highest levels of the game. And we've got a new range, as I say, of breakdown equipment, which can only be bought through Rhino. And that, in terms of the technicalities of interfacing with coaching teams, the breakdown is everything at the moment. It's where games are won and lost. So we pride ourselves on actually being right at the forefront of technological developments at the highest levels of coaching within our core business.